Hello, friends. It's Mrs. Jane with all the fun news you can use about our Fantastic Fours Tri-Day Friday, December the 4th, 2020. And so, how did it go? As usual, fantastically. We marched down the stairs after our temperature check, entered the classroom, went through our whole arrival routine just like champs before we started our daily tabletops. And what did they ask us today? Well, first table was time to do some name tracing with our wipe-off pages. And then secondly, we did a little seasonal tracing. We took that elf on the shelf across the page again over to Santa. But this time he was traveling a diagonal line. And table number 2, time for some reindeer games. And so we did the reindeer grid game. This was an opportunity for the kids to roll a die and then cover up that many squares, the appropriate number of squares on their grid until they covered all the squares on their grid. And we used Rudolph's red nose, red pom-poms, to cover our reindeer spaces as we counted and covered them up. On table number 3, we were asked to decorate eye. We started out by coloring it with a green marker and followed that up with a thick coat of glue before adding some ice cream sprinkles to that. On table number 4, chance to practice our cutting. And this time we had a page with a picture of an igloo and the words I is for igloo. We started out by coloring those words with a green marker, and then we took some strips of white construction paper and our scissors, and we cut some rectangular segments, glued those on to look like the ice blocks on our igloo. And let's see. Oh, of course, there was plenty of green Play-Doh to strengthen our hand skills. And then seasonal puzzles. And the ones that were the biggest hit today were the Christmas cookie puzzles. Love those. And so, after all of that, of course, was finished, it was time to convene on the Rock-A-Motion Choo-Choo line for a little brainstorming of I words, and then travel to our good hello circle. Once we were there, of course, we introduced our persons of the day. We had a little pledge to the flag. And remember, parents, we are amending the jobs for the person of the day. In order to accommodate our new job of song leader, we're shifting a couple of things. And so the persons of the day are now going to help us with the collection agent job. Yeah. So we'll take away the collection agent job, but we add the song leader job to the list. All good. So we had our pledge to the flag, little good morning song, of course our attendance report from our attendance officer, weather report from the meteorologist, then a little seventh inning stretch. And today, of course, we were those trees in the breeze. We let the wind blow our branches to the left and to the right. And then we reached our branches up towards the sky and we took big handfuls of snowflakes from the cloud. And then we let those snowflakes fall to the floor and we bent all the way over till we could touch the floor. Then, of course, we did a little kicking motion to kick a pretend pile of snow in front of us. And then, after that, we did some stomping to get the pretend snow off of our boots. And while we stomped, we recited the ABCs. After we got our blood flowing, then sitting back down, this time we did a little song called Jingle Jingle, which you'll hear more about with our jingle bells. And then, of course, we did another new one called 10 Little Reindeer Sleeping in a Bed. That one's a nice practice of looking at the numbers and counting backwards from 10 to 0. After that, of course, time for our small groups. And today, on the art side of things, Mrs. Ann was having everyone turn a large triangle into a Christmas tree. And they did so by dipping a plastic fork into green paint to make the pine needles on the tree. And then we used some colored circle stickers to add on for ornaments, and a star that we colored yellow, stuck that on the top. On the small group meeting side of things, for literacy, we started out with our ABC song, of course, led by our student song leader. We practiced the sound of I, and then we got into a little play with letter I. And this time, it was a game called Ice Tag. And so, when you were it, if you were a girl, you were Elsa. If you were it and you were a boy, you were Mr. Cool. And you had the freezing rod, which was our rainbow baton. And so we played some music We had everyone run around our Hello Circle area, and whoever was it had to touch you with that freezing rod. And once they did, you were frozen to the spot and you couldn't move. We gave everybody a turn to be Elsa or Mr. Cool. Lots of fun there. And after that, we followed up with a little page coloring some pictures whose names begin with the sound of I, then the letter I. After that, of course, it was time for a break. So we headed towards the necessary room. We had a little free read in the library, and then came back together for some of those nutritious and delicious snacks that everybody sends from home. After that, time for centers. And of course, Friday is slide day. So the slide came out. We had our vehicles out, our action toys, and the castles were out. Lots of good sharing, parents, lots of good cooperation and fun for all at that time. And before you know it, we used up most of our minutes. So we had to quickly convene back in our library for our goodbye circle. We had a little show and tell. We circulated our class book, gave everybody a preview of what was coming in the next week, had our goodbye song, a little treat, our backpacks, and then up those stairs and out that door to meet all of you and start our weekend. And oh, by the way, the whole time, of course, our elf on the shelf, called Chocolate, was watching and listening the whole time, collecting all kinds of good news so that he could tell Santa when he got back to the North Pole tonight. And what kind of reminders do we have for you, parents? Well, let's see. Looking ahead to next week, our color will still be green. Our letter will be J. And so, just take a few minutes to brainstorm some J words for our list. Newsflash that everybody should know, our elf on the shelf is called Chocolate. So if you hear somebody talking about chocolate at home, it's not candy, not this time. It's our elf. He's watching, he's listening. And then please remember your good news for Santa is due on Wednesday, December the 9th, and that will be on Google Forms. And then also Sensi orders, I beg your pardon, another optional fundraiser. Those orders are due by Monday, the 14th of December. And I think that just about does it for today's announcements. And so, parents, as always, if you have any concerns, any questions, any comments, please let us know. We're here to help. And as always, it's always a good day to have a good day at Jack and Jill. See you next week. Bye now.